Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday, April 9th, 2021. Well, folks, we like to say that April is a cruel month. It really is a cruel month because of what you can experience in the 30 days that we call April. And we're going to be experiencing that here in a moment. We'll talk about it. Chilly today with clearing skies. The front that came through the region last night brought some snow and rain showers, and we'll produce snow showers early today across some areas of the Intermountain West. But it's a fast-moving front. We'll be clearing out later today. Good day Saturday as we go on the upside of the roller coaster. Good day Saturday. Going to be a little windy, but Saturday is the day. Saturday is the best day of the weekend. Saturday is the best day of the next 7 to 10. Another front comes in Saturday night, Sunday. We don't expect much weather with it, but it will bring a few showers and it will make it colder. Next week, there's no way around it, folks. Next week, it's just ugly. It's just ugly. It's similar to the mid-February pattern in the sense that we're going to see a release of some really cold air out of Canada come into the western and central areas of the United States. No, we're not going to go below zero, but relative to normal, we are going to be some 20 to 30 degrees or more below average at times next week, and we'll show you that here. Now, as we go into today, here's today's system right here. Not much, moving out really quickly. Here's the next high pressure, a little ridge of high pressure coming in behind it. This is what's going to bring us that good weather for Saturday. Here's the next front coming for Sunday. Notice all the blue up here. Notice all the blue up along that north slope of Alaska. Alaska experiencing some really cold weather right now. But as high pressure builds into Alaska here over the next couple of days, the cold air in Alaska gets displaced south. And this is something to always remember, that when you have high pressure in the Gulf of Alaska or Alaska, you get colder in this part of the country. There's a yin and yang. When Alaska gets warmer, we get colder. When Alaska gets colder, we get warmer. And we're going to see that play out as the northern latitudes are going to be throwing a lot at us here in the coming days. This is Saturday. Here's that high pressure ridge, but you can see there's a big push of colder air coming into central and western Canada from northern Alaska and the higher latitudes. Then by Monday, now this looks a little convoluted, but what ends up happening is that we have this high pressure building up into the Gulf of Alaska here, causing the jet stream to take a dip. And we have this very broad area of low pressure. Remember, the air moving around this is counterclockwise like this. This right here is similar to what we saw in February in the sense that we had an anchored low up here and another piece of cold air coming in, getting detached from the main part and then swinging through like this. This is very similar to what happened in February. So what ends up happening is all the cold air that we just saw in the charts right there has an easy time, easy access to come in. And what will end up happening is that this area of low pressure here breaks off from this area of low pressure and then basically just settles into the Great Basin, settles into northern areas of Nevada and western Utah, while the northern Greats low stays there and they kind of get separated. What you can't see, and I'll show you here in a minute, is that cold air just pours in between these lows like this and goes all the way down into Texas. And you get a big pile of cold air that comes up. Then the counterclockwise spin around this overruns the cold air and you get clouds and precipitation. And what we'll see is a persistent upslope. So here is the real cold air. When you get really cold air, you get a big area of high pressure. So these are barometric pressures in millibars. You got that big high in Canada. You have the low near the four corners at the surface from that upper level low over Utah. And what you have is very cold air backed up against the Continental Divide all the way down into Texas, and you have the clockwise spin around a high like this. That's an upslope wind. You have the counterclockwise spin around the surface low. That's an upslope wind. And what ends up happening is you're going to put together multiple days in a row of thick clouds, upslope snow and rain, and unseasonably cold temperatures that will be very persistent because this system isn't going to move much. This is Thursday. It's still over western Utah and areas of Nevada. That high pressure ridge bulging up into here is just going to keep that trough into the western United States. And this is by Friday. It actually retrogrades westward to Northern California and into Oregon. So it's just not going to move. So we're going to get stuck in this pattern for multiple days in a row. That's why April is a really, really cool month, because we're going to quickly forget that Easter weekend. To show you what the temperatures do, these are temperatures relative to average. Where you see the blue and the green and the purple, it's pretty chilly relative to normal. This is by Monday morning. This is by Tuesday. This is by Thursday. And as we get into the time frame of Thursday, these are forecasted highs, forecasted high temperatures on Thursday. Average highs this time of year in most areas should be mid-50s into the lower 60s. So you're talking 20 to 30 degrees or more below average by the middle to the end of next week. And notice the cold air gets west of the divide. Now, we didn't see that so much in the February Arctic outbreak. The cold air didn't really get back into the west of the divide. But you're looking at temperatures even into Las Vegas only reaching the lower 60s by late next week. So the cold air gets west of the divide as well. These are temperatures by Saturday relative to normal. I told you about Texas. Now, they're not going to have the same thing happen again, but this is just to show you how similar is the outbreak of cold is to where the cold was in February. Remember, we like to tell you in this podcast, you see patterns repeat themselves during the course of a season. They're not exactly the same, but they're similar. So our confidence is growing of this cold outbreak for next week. And folks, we're going to get some snow out of this as well. And this is quite depressing. I know a lot of you folks don't want to see this, but this is April 20th. So this is all the way into Tuesday, the 20th. Notice the purple here. That is much, much below average temperatures across the Front Range of Colorado and Wyoming and into the high plains regions. What this means is there's no quick warm up. This is a cold snap that could go 7 days or longer before we warm up. Now, precipitation is going to be tricky. These maps are going to change, but you can see a very broad area of moderate to sometimes heavy precipitation. Heaviest down there in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. But where you see this blue and this yellow here, you're talking better than a ½ inch to 3/4 inch to more than an inch of water. Now, some of this, in fact, the majority of it, for many of you, is going to be in the form of snow. This is what the snow forecast looks like over the next 10 days. And this is going to change as new data comes in and we see where the best upslope goes. So this is to use only for demonstration purposes only. We'll fine tune this as we get closer. But look at west of the divide. Look back into Utah. Look back into northern Nevada. I mean, the cold air and the winter weather gets into areas that usually this time of year are starting to really warm on up. So April, folks, throwing us some punches after gracing us with that beautiful weather we had last weekend. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday, and we'll have more updates on this upcoming weather pattern change.